Uh, Hello guys. I have already told you what I think about behavior of United States outside US. I dislike many things about US, mostly their foreign policy, but I would be unfair with you if I would tell you that I totally dislike United States. I admire in many meanings United States. I'm fascinated with their achievements. Being a kid and teenager, I was uh, like literally in love with big cities, with life in big cities in the United States. It was one of my biggest childish dreams to go there, to be uh, raised in the United States and to stay there to get a citizenship. Today's topic is what I like or what I admire about the United States. Uh, First of all, I should say that probably one of the most amazing qualities of Americans is their uh, goal-oriented, success-oriented mindset. I can compare Ukrainians, Russians, let's say ex-Soviets on one hand, and Americans on the other hand, uh, from the point of view of attitude towards labor, towards time management, towards being goal-oriented, being success-oriented, being uh, oriented, focused on money making. Of course, United States having this amazing quality of life, living level, the super powerful state. They didn't receive it by some wonder or miracle. They have founded this state. They used to work for a long while just because they labor was sacred like a god. I should remind you, for those people who are not familiar with uh, first years of existence of United States, I should remind you that it was founded by British Protestants. They were persecuted in Catholic Britain. They had to leave for North America to be free in their uh, religion and to live as they would like to live. It was impossible for them to be like that, to live this life in Catholic Britain. So these people were called Protestants or Puritans. Major goal, probably the only one goal of their lives, was to work without any compensation, any reward, because labor itself was perceived as being true Christian in their mindset, in their vision of life. So such attitude, such way of life caused prosperity, uh, and which was typical for any Protestant. They used to work, accumulate money, material benefits, and they hated to waste it, at least without any purpose, without any rational purpose. In a while, America became a place where people from all over the world, initially mostly from Europe, people headed there because America used to be perceived as a land of the free people where every dream could become true. Mm, Probably every one of you knows that United States is a big melting pot in every meaning, in every single meaning of this word, in meaning of ethnic background, religious background, racial background, whatever. Though today's topic is what I like about states, I should say what I dislike. It's not about exterior policy of United States. It's more about tradition of American authorities to prosecute and to have literal open prejudice against people who are not standard. So standard and accepted were only people who are Protestants, who come from Northern Europe, like let's say British people, Germans, Scandinavians. If we are talking about 19th century, United States became home for tons of Irish people, poor Irish peasants who had to leave Ireland due to persecution of British authorities due to famine, which unfortunately happened between 1841 and 1845. So Irish people had to leave for United States, and there they faced the same persecution as they saw in their homeland. I suggest you to watch nice movie with Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman, which is called Far and Away. Probably there are few nations in the world which suffered as much as Irish people suffered in the United States from the very start. So they used to be gun meat, like women, Irish women had to survive working as prostitutes. So Irish were the most persecuted, the least paid, the worst treated part of American society. In a while, when poor Italians from southern Italy and Polish and Ukrainian Jews from Russian Empire, after they came to United States, so Irish became like more privileged in comparison to these nationalities. So I will tell you in brief that I dislike the trend, like a major thread which comes from throughout the history of the United States from the very start up to now. It's a long history of persecution and irrational, unjust, unfair attitude towards people who are not considered acceptable or appropriate. Luckily, in today's United States, everyone who has some prejudices, who doesn't judge people by their behavior, but judges by ethnic origin or race, these people are considered outcasts. But still, no one should forget the way which United States existed before this fair attitude became a rule, which became a rule several decades ago. I mentioned Irish people. I want to mention also the long story of suffering of Black Americans who were treated as property, as products by the moment when Civil War made them independent and free. And before American government proclaimed the same rules for them as for everybody else. So I would like to stop with negative stuff. I want to mention in brief, what I love about United States. First, which I mentioned, is attitude towards labor. Second, Americans are really patriotic people. This feature could be nice for every nation, but Americans often they really shock me in positive meaning with how much they love their homeland. Americans whom I met when I was traveling in South America, probably every single of these people was nice, friendly. They were eager to discuss many topics, which I like, for example, history, politics, literature. Nobody of them was boring. And when I recall this experience, it was definitely a nice experience to deal with these people, to get acquainted with them. Talking about United States as a country, I admire how diverse it is. Like, if I have to come up with one or couple of states which I like the most, probably it will be New York, California, and maybe thought it's Florida. But still, probably, if I would live for a long while in States, if I would be American citizen, any place would be interesting for me. Probably except for Utah and the state of Washington. These two states seem boring for me. To me, I come from Eastern Europe, and for me, as Eastern European, it's interesting to know about Soviet community in Brighton Beach. It's area in New York City. So it's isolated area. Many people who live there for more than a decade, maybe several decades. It's funny, but they still speak no English at all, just because they have no need to master it. Some Americans who are eager to study Russian, they just go to Brighton Beach, they live there for some time, and they really have opportunity to master Russian from Russian native speakers without leaving their home country, being within US. I absolutely adore Jack London, American writer who wrote a number of novels. Probably I would mention Hearts of Three. It's my favorite book. Besides the book, I like also the Soviet movie, which has the same title. It was, by the way, the last Soviet and first Russian movie, because it was started in 1990 and finished in 1992 after Soviet Union was destroyed. I also love tales of Mark Twain. I have enjoyed many poems of Walt Whitman. So I can say I'm a fan of American literature. In the next episodes we can get back to this topic, but for now I would say goodbye, and United States definitely can be nice and interesting topic for discussion. See you.